Thank you very much, Alderman Holstein. Alderman Holstein is also president of the board, so we ask him to go on and do that. And welcome everyone. There's a couple of things we want to do before we get started, and not only welcome, but there's a couple of people we want just to thank for being here. Michelle Jones, I want to make sure I introduce her. First, I'm going to start with a wonderful representative that we have, and that's Representative Joe Runyon. We also have a former representative with us, and that is Jan Martinet. And we have a wonderful mayor with us. We call him RL. His wife called him Sir. But we have Mayor R.L. Sharfin with us from Lake Winnebago. You know, we also have some other people here. We have a couple of school board members here. And we have the vice president. I call him Mr. Vice President of the School Board. And that's Wayne, Vice President of the School Board. Miss Barbara Paulette is here. Thank you, Barb. And we also have a couple of Board of Aldermen that sit with us for some time, and they are also here. We have Alderman Ron Hoffman. We also have Alderman Ken Cox. And then we also have a number of board members here as well. You know, we're fortunate here in Grandview that the Board of Aldermen is here and we make a lot of decisions. However, we are fortunate in the fact that we have many commissioners with us. We have the Transportation Commission, we have the Park and Rec Commission, we have the Planning Commission, a number of commissions. Will those many commissioners please stand? Zoning Board and so forth. Will the commissioners please stand? And we as a board really do appreciate you guys because your information to us is invaluable and your time is invaluable. So thank you very, very much. And then we also have with us just a fantastic organization called the Grandview Assistance Program, GAP. And then we have an organization that not many people know about, but they do wonderful work, the Grandview Police Chaplains Group. This is a group that helps our police department as well as our fire department. I want to say thank you to the Board of Aldermen for hosting this State of the City address. We really do appreciate that. Tonight is primarily for the citizens. This is for you. So we decided to do two so you can be just as informed as the business people. Okay. A special thanks. I mean, if there's any thanks, I have to give a special thanks to Miss Carrie Lewis. She's our communications coordinator. She's sitting right here. She is, she's the one who's, you know, taking care of the State of the City address, the videos. But again, thank you to Carrie Lewis for all of her work. And I am proud and humbled to stand before you as the Mayor of Grandview. It is a pleasure, without a doubt. And I want to share with you some important things that's going on with the city. I'm here to give you my first State of the City address and tell you not only some of the things that have happened, but more importantly, where are we going in the future? That's probably the most important component. And we're going to make this journey together. But moving forward could not and would not happen without your city leaders. And your city leaders are the Board of Aldermen and our city staff. So I'm going to call and introduce the Board of Aldermen, and they're going to stand. Representing Ward 1 is Alderman Sandy Kessinger. Representing Ward 1 is Michael Allen. Representing Ward 2 is Alderman Annette Turnbull. Also representing Ward 2 is Alderman Brian Holstein. Representing Ward 3 is Alderman Jim Crane. And representing Ward 3 is also Alderman John Maloney. But these are your Board of Aldermen. And also I would like to introduce to you our City Administrator, Corey Smith. With Corey at the helm, we have been blessed beyond measure from a financial perspective and a fiduciary perspective, so we really do appreciate him. Tonight I want to talk to you about partnerships. Partnerships are very, very important. We partner with the Chamber of Commerce, and the Chamber of Commerce is who hosted the State of the City address at noon. We also partner with our local businesses in the city, and they commit so much to the city of Grandview, and we are grateful. We're also partners with the Grandview School District, and they are in the process of educating and preparing our young people for the future. And we partner with you, the community. which is probably the most important component of partnership. And when I think about a strong community, I think about these characteristics of a strong community: a safe place to raise a family, to remain on the cutting edge through innovation, provide outstanding quality of life, and experience growth. Those are some of the characteristics. But with that being said, let's take a look at where we've been in 2014 and where we're going in 2015. In fiscal year 2014, the city continued to look for ways to cut costs. During difficult economic times, Grandview has remained fiscally responsible throughout this process. And we look for ways to not only tighten our belt, but tightening belts are important, but what else can you do to minimize expenses that are unnecessary? We also are proud to say that all of those cost-cutting measures, we've been able to provide a raise for our city employees, and this is the first time that they have been given a raise in 5 years. So we are pleased that we've been able to do that. And it's so important that we reward them because we've been able to, in a financial perspective, provide them a raise. So we continue to do that, but through the process, they have been committed and done fantastic work and exceptional customer service throughout that. And it's important to note that as a city, we have never laid off any employee in 103 years. So that's a blessing. So we do what we can to make sure that what is being done is the proper thing, and we are appreciative of that. One of the things that is a top pillar for us is public safety. Public safety is a top priority, and earlier I stated having a safe place to raise a family is important. And when you look at that, that should be the bedrock of what we're doing. So safety for the community is the #1 goal, and recent statistics prove that our city is moving in the right direction. From 2009 to 2013, Grandview experienced a reduction in Part 1 crimes of 24%. 24%. And Part 1 crimes are considered the very serious crimes and the most occurring crimes and mostly reported. So that's an accomplishment all by itself. But also from 2009 and 2013, 10% reduction in overall crimes were received and sent in Grandview. That too is an accomplishment. And in 2014 alone, there was a reduction in Part 1 crimes of 6%. That is exactly where we want to be, continue to reduce crime in our city. And we provide exceptional emergency services in Grandview thanks to our commitment from our fire department. And they are standing back there right now. And when we finish, feel free to go back and shake their hands because their commitment is unsurpassed. As a matter of fact, we've been able to purchase 2 new ambulances and retire our aging fleet. So we're doing our best to continue to keep everything current and possible. But that's not all. Thanks to you, the Grandview voters, we were able to secure $13 million in bonds funds to be significantly increasing and upgrading the police, the fire, the parks, and more importantly, be able to purchase new equipment. So that was an accomplishment, and we from the Board of Aldermen say thank you for your vote of confidence, and we look forward to your input to assist us in working on these projects. Including one of the projects is a new P25 system to replace the outdated radio system that we're currently using in the police department. This will improve direct communications with other cities and allow our first responders and staff to communicate effectively with others. Also, the fire department will receive a new pumper truck, and existing ladder truck will be refurbished. And that is already ongoing, and hopefully within a year we'll be receiving that. Each of the 3 fire stations will receive renovations, and these renovations are needed. However, for our fire station #1, this is the first time the inside has been renovated in 40 years. You know, another very important part is that the police department will receive new access and a new storage facility at City Hall. So that's all a part of the bond package. Quality of life. What is quality of life? A definition for quality of life is defined as the well-being of individuals and societies, including not only wealth and employment, but also the existing environment, physical health, education, recreation, leisure time, and social belonging. This is a definition from the yourdictionary.com, but it's a very good description of what quality of life is all about. In fact, I believe that Grandview has invested in every aspect of quality of life, and we'll go through that. We remain on the cutting edge of our recreational opportunities. The View, where we sit today, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary right here. And this building, as Alderman Holstein has said, is widely used over and over again. And I see many of you working out, which is a good thing, right here at the View. So we see a lot of things happening. But also, in 2014, more than 108,000 visits were made to this facility. And 303 people learned how to swim. And we hope that number continues to grow year by year. And we had more than 500 area youths participating in not only summer programs, but also the sports programs, only in 2014. So it's been a busy time, but we look forward to it. We recently completed 8 new or upgraded parks in 2014, bringing the 2008 bond package to a close. That bond project was pretty extensive, but we were able to finish all the work that had been promised at the June-July timeframe 2014. So that was a blessing. These parks really enhance our outdoor recreation activities. And let's take a look at some of the before and after parks that were upgraded. That final park in the video that we were seeing was Valley Park. Our parks are truly being used, and that's the whole purpose. Again, we're looking at quality of life, and that's a very important component. Also, as we look at that, Valley Park has been featured on the Missouri Parks and Recreation magazine. But don't take my word for it, how cool it is. Look at the video coming up and see how it was used in a promotional piece. know, it's pretty impressive when you think something is good, but when others think also something is good, what a blessing that is. So that's Valley Park, and obviously the Park and Rec did an excellent job, and it shows. Another very important pillar that's needed as a part of quality of life is community involvement efforts. As a city, we have successfully planned and hosted 11 special events which provided fun and festivities for more than 17,000 people. They included opportunities like the Truman Heritage Festival, Party in the Park, the Summer Movies and Concert Series, just to name a few. This mix of community gathering opportunities work well, and it helps bring the community together. We also strive to keep our community engaged, and an engaged community is a well-informed community. The Parks and Rec Department recently announced the Grandview Recreation Activity Scholarship Program. This is a new scholarship program aimed at making our Grandview facilities and activities more accessible to our youth. We could call that a lot of different names, and many have donated to it, so the Parks and Rec is more than willing for you to donate as a part of this program as well. Our relative new Citizens Academy allows community members an opportunity to look at the inner workings of city government. You've noticed in our flyers and everything else, we try to say that if you are a graduate of the Citizens Academy, you are one of the elite. So if you're interested in being one of the elite in the city of Grandview, the next class for the Citizens Academy is March the 26th. So write that down. March the 26th is the next class to begin the Citizens Academy. The police department has reached more than 13,500 people in 2014 with outreach opportunities. There are so many opportunities I could choose from, and I'm going to speak with really only 5 of those opportunities. But we're grateful for what they do in general. Teaching about law enforcement knowledge. This is a program shared with 9th grade students to teach students about various aspects of law enforcement and to introduce law enforcement as a possible career choice. We also have Shop with a Cop program, and this is by the Grandview Police Employee Association. In 2014, they gave 34 students $100 each to shop with a police officer, which is a wonderful experience anyway. As you know, if you have money and you can spend it, you know they had a good time. And again, another part of the partnership we do in the police department. Third is the Drug Awareness and Resistance Education Program, better known as DARE. And this promotes interaction with our students. And our officer, Bo Bailey, instructed approximately 450 5th grade students in the DARE curriculum. Fourth is the Gang Resistance Education and Training Program. This is a gang and violence prevention program and is built around the school-based law enforcement officer curriculum. But this partners and encourages partnership with the community, with parents, with schools, and also with the law enforcement themselves. And the 5th one is our police department also has 3 dedicated police officers working with the Grandview School District. These school resource officers, also called SROs, provide a visible and positive image for law enforcement among the students. The SROs provide confidential counseling to students concerning the problems that they face and also ensure a healthy environment for the teachers to teach and for the students to feel safe in learning. You think about it, that's the commitment to not only the teachers but to the community, and that's what we should be doing. So we are grateful for what they do. Also, I mentioned earlier about the Grandview Police Chaplains, and they stood. The Grandview Police Chaplains have been great in providing support and encouragement to both the police department as well as the fire department. But these are just a few of the opportunities dealing with outreach, but a very important pillar. Another one is a walkability priority. In fact, as we move forward with planning or constructing any new project in Grandview, one of the things we like to do is maintaining a walkable city should be a priority. Currently, we have numerous walking and biking trails across Grandview, and that creates a safe place for families to enjoy and bicyclists to enjoy in their enthusiasm. Our Main Street project continues this year and will include upgraded projects. We've already completed 3 Main Street projects so far, and we have a couple of more to go. We are currently working on a new trail, and this trail will be called the Byers Road Trail. The Byers Road Trail will have a shelter and a high-intensity activated crosswalk signal, better known as the Hawk. This is a new sidewalk and trail improvement along Byers Road between Missouri 150 and Longview Lake Trail Crossing, close to 139th Street. These improvements will allow a continuous pedestrian access from Missouri 150 north all the way down to the sidewalk ramps of 139th Street. The Hawk signal is intended to help the pedestrian cross the Byers Road safely without having to install a new traffic signal itself. This means that traffic on Byers Road would have less waiting and disruption time, and those walking or pedestrians will have much more safety improved crossing. Here's a video of the Hawk system for your enjoyment.
The pedestrian hybrid vehicle, also known as the Hawk signal, normally shows dark indications to vehicular traffic and a solid hand indication signifying don't walk to pedestrians. Once the pedestrian pushes the crosswalk button, the Hawk wakes up by displaying flashing yellow to vehicular traffic. It then goes to solid yellow, which, similar to a normal traffic signal, means the signal is about to turn red. The pedestrian continues to see the don't walk signal. After the Hawk turns solid red, the pedestrian signal changes to walk. Using caution, the pedestrian may now legally begin crossing. After the walk phase, a flashing don't walk phase accompanied by a numerical countdown will begin. Pedestrians may finish crossing if they had already started, but they may not start from the sidewalk. Vehicular traffic sees flashing red. Each vehicle must stop, but then may proceed if safe to do so without endangering pedestrians or other traffic. At this point, the Hawk signal reverts back to its default mode of being dark for vehicular traffic and displaying don't walk to pedestrians. Should another pedestrian push the button soon after the previous walk phase, there will be a predetermined time to allow vehicular traffic to clear before the sequence starts again.
And yes, that is not in Grandview, but next year we'll have our own Hawk system and we can show pictures of our Hawk up here for you. There's another trail that we'll be building, and that's called the Truman Farm Home Trail. The Truman Farm Home Trail will connect the historic Truman Farm Home to Longview Lake, providing a great opportunity for enjoyment with fitness, family fun, a bike ride, and a pleasant walk. This will be a 2.5-mile trail that will connect Grandview businesses and residential facilities. The Truman Farm Home Trail will connect nearly all trails within the city of Grandview. We currently received the historic US 40 bridge from Missouri Department of Transportation, and we'll reconnect that down south of here at the Tails and Trails Dog Park. The pedestrian and dog owners will be able to enjoy the trail by going over the bridge. It will be reassembled, hopefully later this year, to cross the Little Blue River. Another very important component to quality of life is the economic development. And here in Grandview, economic development remains aggressive with a strong industrial base, which includes new expansions or new additions. We are seeing an increase in employment opportunities. The Sika Corporation had 37,000 square foot warehouse expansion and a $1.9 million in capital investment. Cartwright Companies later this year will have a future of 25,000 square foot warehouse expansion, and their capital investment is $1.2 million. And that's pretty impressive, along with the fact that they will have 50 new employees. Euro Tools had 6,000 square foot warehouse expansion, 300,000 capital improvement. Prior Products, 26,000 square foot warehouse expansion, and $1.8 million capital improvement. We also work with the developer on the facility lease and incentive package to bring to Grandview the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, better known as NOAA. This is a facility housing 80 employees and serving as the nationwide center for weather tracking and associated technology. And equipment testing and reconditioning will also be conducted. And they have guaranteed in the contract that our weather in Grandview is going to remain constant, 60 degrees. And if they renege on it, we will have another discussion. We also work with the big industrial LLC on the planning of the Botts Road Business Park. And this is around 60 acres of land that's going to be utilized at 142nd and Botts Road. And that's going to be adjacent to the NOAA facility. We met with various groups dealing with the Gateway Commons, and Gateway Commons is there to the north and east of Gales Harley-Davidson. And there could be some development there, and we'll see how that materializes. And when we talk of development, I'm sure that the question I've been asked already is, what's going on with Truman Corners? The Board of Aldermen have worked hard, very hard, to make sure that the city could have a project and carry out this project in such a way that does not put the city at odds with undue debt for long periods of time. It's taken longer than anyone has expected, and we'll be the first ones to say that. But the project the developer has now put forth appears to be one that both the project, being Red Legacy, and the city of Grandview can afford, can finance, and hopefully make happen. However, we believe that we finally think that this amended plan will be going to the Tax Increment Financing District, this commission, on February the 11th. So what that means is the Tax Increment Financing Commission will actually have this plan, this amended plan, and they will have a public hearing. And you are invited, you the public are invited to come to this public hearing and listen and provide comments accordingly. Once they finish that, their recommendation will be sent to the Board of Aldermen. And the Board of Aldermen then will also have a public hearing. And then again, the public is invited to come and attend that public hearing. And after that public hearing, and this is going to be on the second amendment of the Tax Increment Financing Plan, after that public hearing, we, the board, believe that with that approval, we can expect leases to actually be signed, the property to be acquired, and the redevelopment to begin later this spring. That's the update on where we are with Truman Corners. Another important pillar is infrastructure. Infrastructure is vital, and that's one of our top items as part of being quality of life. You cannot support a growing community without a sound infrastructure. Our basic foundation creates strength in our community, and we invest and reinvest every year in our infrastructure. Our transportation infrastructure is moving forward. As a matter of fact, in 2014, the Transportation Achievement Award was given to the City of Grandview for the work on the Main Street Revitalization Project. And that was only on 3 projects that we did on Main Street. We've got a couple more projects coming as well. The Main Street improvements continues that during the summer months, the crews will begin Main Street Phase 7 project. This is from Highgrove and Main Street all the way to Bennington, then to Raytown Road. So it's going to be from the high school in Bennington all the way to Raytown Road. This phase in this project will be. Work encompasses complete street improvements, and that will include milling, resurfacing, new curb and gutter, upgrading signing and striping, sidewalk and ADA ramp improvements, pedestrian crossing improvements, the additional trailway infrastructure and signal improvements. And again, that's from Bennington to Raytown Road, and that's Project 7. We have also Project 4. We'll improve the roadway and pedestrian features on Main Street from 15th Street all the way to the west, Interstate 49 West Outer Road. So that section is called Phase 4, and that too will commence. The work would be very similar to the other 3 phases we've completed, but there's some big additions here. One huge one is that there's going to be a gateway tower that's going to be right there on the West Access Road. That's going to be awesome. And that's a rendering thereof of what that tower is going to look like. And also, it's going to be a planter structure also on the west access road side as well. Improvements would also include upgraded and wider sidewalks, stamped concrete accents, upgraded street lighting, installation of pedestrian seat walls, landscaping, and curb and gutter. There are 3 other projects I just want to mention from an infrastructure perspective. The 150 outer roads, in partnership with Missouri Department of Transportation, the city will make improvements on both sides of Highway 150, provide access to and from the highway. And that's going to be important, especially for those there close to 150 and I-49. This includes a connection from the frontage road south of Interstate I-49 and Highway 150 to the White Avenue by the Quick Trip. And the second component will also be by Grand Summit entrance. So both of those will be a part of this outer road project. Another one is the 155th widening project. And this is one that we, the City of Grandview, are working with the City of Belton to make this a reality and just expand 155th, or some of you probably know this as County Line Road. So that's going to be expanded, and we're working in partnership with the City of Belton and Missouri Department of Transportation. And the last item is the frontage roads. One of the items that the Board of Aldermen been working on for some time. We've got these one-way roads, and we've been doing study after study. What can we do to convert these back to two-way? MoDOT took care of us way back when, and we're doing our best to kind of correct some of the items that took place. And the city has been awarded and obtained $6 million in federal highway funds to actually work on this project. And $5 million of that is for the conversion of the Interstate 49 frontage road between Highgrove and Harry Truman. I've mentioned a lot of projects and infrastructure. Just so you can be aware, that sounds like a lot of money, and it is. But you know, we have been very fortunate in the city of Grandview that a lot of the money that has been utilized and funded for these projects, 2/3 of that has come from the federal government and the state government. So those are your tax dollars at work from the federal government and state government. 2/3 of that work is being done there, and 1/3 from the city of Grandview. So we've been blessed that we've got staff that have been going after these grants and obtaining these grants and allowing us to do so much more for the city of Grandview, and that's a blessing beyond measure. Another very important partner that we have is the school district. I've mentioned already we got the vice president of the school board here, but that is very, very important, and they are strong partners. As a matter of fact, in 2014, the Grandview School District scored accredited with distinction, and that was presented to them by the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. So that's an accomplishment by itself. If you haven't been taking notes, that's huge. That's huge through the process of time. And not only do we have the school district working there, but we've got people with bright futures, and we've got a number of people here with bright futures. Raise your hands if you are working with bright futures. Those two are working together and helping us do a lot of things. So we've got a lot of partners in the school district. Another very important component is that they experienced enrollment growth, and they have got a total of 4,200 students in 2014, and that's moving up for them as well. But probably more importantly is that the graduation rate has gone to 87.6%, and that is a true 5% increase over the previous year. And they are still working and doing more and more in that area, and that's a very positive thing. The middle school also recently celebrated a new gymnasium floor and renovation, and I had the opportunity to be there during that celebration, and it was wonderful. Awesome floor. I think they play basketball better now at the middle school because of that floor. And the high school received a new stadium entryway for the Bulldog fans, and this was a ribbon cutting ceremony that we had at the first game on August the 22nd. And I'm here to report that Grandview won that game 20-6. And I'm not saying that was because of the ribbon cutting, because of the new archway, but we won nonetheless, and that was a blessing. Another part of the school district, even though this is a part of the school district, our police department also implemented 1 day of active shooting training for the Grandview School District staff. This allows our school to be prepared if a situation ever occurs that requires them to face an armed intruder. And again, this is the Grandview Police Department partnering with the school district. And again, that's a very important pillar. Another important pillar of quality of life is technology. Grandview has made great strides in keeping the city on a cutting edge through technology. You can stay connected with Grandview in many, many ways, and lately, the social media numbers are just climbing through the roof, and most people are getting most of their information from Facebook and Twitter. So that just appears to be the trend, and we just continue to go with that trend. We're currently working closely with Vision Internet, and they're the ones who will be our service provider to upgrade our entire website. So we're looking forward to that occurring in 2015. In addition, we implemented Your Grandview. Your Grandview is a new online mapping system that's bringing the whole city of Grandview to your fingertips. As a matter of fact, Your Grandview shows the city's infrastructure, and it shows streets, parks, zoning locations, and land use layers, just to name a few components. We also have Google here. Isn't that great? Absolutely. Great to have Google, and we've got Google Fiber, thanks to our staff's efforts to review, monitor, and work closely with Google Fiber maintenance crews. So it's great to have that as well. But we wouldn't be where we are today without the support of our other partners. Another very important partner that we have is the Grandview Chamber of Commerce. Great partners as they continue to work with the businesses and do what they can to recognize businesses. As a matter of fact, the Grandview Chamber has a program called the Growth in Grandview, and this business investment growth in Grandview, the acronym is BIG, and BIG is something that's presented every March. And so this March coming up, we will have another big opportunity. But the BIG 2014, it showed different things. It shows expansions, new business, and anniversaries. So in 2014, the picture there is the expansions. We recognized Carriage Works, the City of Grandview for the Main Street, as well as the Civic Plaza improvement, Cruz Jewelry for the storefront remodeling, Grandview Chamber for office remodeling. We also recognize Grandview Upholstery, International House of Prayer, Kansas City, Job 1 Recycling Center, and Morgan Miller Plumbing, also for their relocation to a larger facility and remodeling. We also recognized new businesses. New businesses were Bear Communications, Done Right Fleet and Auto Repair, Integrity Pharmacy, Integrity Staffing Specialists, Joe's Cabinet Shop, Laser Apparel, Pure Magic Foundation Specialist, Tap Heating and Cooling, and NNSA Honeywell for 1.5 million square foot facility and 2,500 employees. We also had 3 anniversaries that we recognized. The View, as I mentioned already, had their 10th anniversary, so we recognize them. Wayside Waifs celebrated their 7th year in business. And the Grandview School District celebrated 100 years anniversary. So congratulations to all of the big award winners of 2014, and we look forward to those award winners in 2015. I've already mentioned the no tax increase bond package. That was a pretty important moment in time, August the 5th, 2014. We remember it well. But there are some additions to those projects that are ongoing. One is that we're planning the construction of a new amphitheater to be on the east side of, we call it Meadowmere East, so east of the View. And plans are going out even now, RFPs and designs, as to say what that will eventually look like. But that should be a wonderful addition to our city. Another wonderful addition is a gigantic new water park that will be added adjacent to Brumbo's Forest, and Brumbo's Forest is just to the south of us here. And we're looking forward to that. Also a part of the bond package was the upgrades for Shalimar Park, which will include needed renovations to the ball field. So those are some additions, and also included in that, we do have an expansion to the View, and that's going to be to the park just to the west of us here. So all of those are within there, and some of those projects have already started. We have made a commitment to ourselves at the city that we're not going to wait to the end of this bond package period. We're going to do everything we can to get started and finish ahead of time. We've learned our lesson. You know, sometimes you have to experience things, and once you do experience it, you know that you won't do that again. We won't do that again. So we're going to move right along. Well, that brings my State of the City to a close. Hopefully you've heard a lot of things, you've seen a lot of things, and you're excited about what's going on in the city of Grandview. There is so much more I could share with you. I could tell you about finance, reviewing contracts, and consolidating the spend to save money. I can tell you about community development, addressing dangerous buildings, and making sure that code enforcement are followed to make sure your property values remain the same. I could talk about the police department, the fire department, and how they partner with different homes associations and coming out and let you know what's the best thing to do and what not to do and so forth. A lot of things we can talk about. But again, I just want to give you a flavor for where we are as a city in 2014 and where we want to be in 2015 to let you know that we are moving forward. And I think we're making very good progress. So most importantly, great things are happening in Grandview. And I want you to leave with that message that, yes, we're moving in the right direction. Thank you very, very much for your attendance. If you have any questions, the Board of Aldermen are here to answer whatever questions you may have. Thank you and have a great day.